Hello and welcome to GC360, your source for the latest news and stories from the heart of our community and beyond. I'm Jackson Schwartz and we have a packed show for you today.
And I'm Caroline Hubbard. Whether you're a student, faculty member, or just someone interested in what's happening in our community, GC360 is here to keep you informed and engaged. Coming up, maybe consider wearing long sleeves and pants in the next few weeks as we burrow into this story.
And how are Georgians holding on? We'll hear the stories of those fighting the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
And stay with us as we look at weather updates for this upcoming week.
And a Georgia judge attempted to reopen the conversation on the 6-week abortion ban.
This is GC360, where news comes full circle. Welcome to GC360. The number of reported scabies cases has recently escalated, and Student Health Services sent an advisory to all students about the outbreak on campus. Scabies is a parasitic infection caused by tiny mites that burrow into the skin to lay eggs, and according to the Georgia Department of Public Health, symptoms can take up to 6 weeks to become visible for those who have never had it. It can be spread by prolonged skin-to-skin contact or sharing clothes, towels, and bedding with someone infected. Scabies is commonly treated with a prescription topical cream, so if you experience any symptoms, schedule an appointment with a healthcare provider. Bobcats, wear long sleeves and pants, and stay safe.
After the Category 4 hurricane, Helene, a new hurricane has formed. To hear more on Hurricane Milton and the rest of this week's weather, here's Amelie Sengupta.
Thanks, Jackson. With the destruction Helene caused, fears surrounding Hurricane Milton's impact are bubbling up. Milton had a peak strength of 180 miles per hour winds, putting it as the 5th strongest storm in the Atlantic Basin. The coast of Georgia is currently under a storm surge warning, but no direct impacts happened in Middle Georgia. The Milledgeville area has a fine weather this upcoming week, so let's take a look at it for your peace of mind. Temperatures are slowly dropping to welcome the fall season. So we're expecting temperatures to stay under 80 degrees for most of this week, starting with Friday with mainly sunny skies with a high of 77 and a low of 46. If you're staying in the area for fall break, expect the temperatures to raise this weekend, with Saturday having a high of 81 and a low of 51 later at night. Sunday will wrap up the sunny weekend with a high of 86 and a low of 61. Sunset is now at 7 p.m., so make sure to plan accordingly when and if you're driving back to town. Next week will continue with sunny weather. Temperatures will stay around the same with 86 degrees during the day and 53 at night. On Tuesday, cloudy skies will make the temperature drop down to 74 as the maximum for the next day and 47 for the minimum. The sun will come back out on Wednesday, right in time for class, so as you walk to your 8 a.m., remember, we're staying in the low 70s with a high of 71 and a low of 45. I know we're far from winter, but I consider wearing long sleeves in the morning. Next Thursday, we'll see some clouds from time to time, but mostly sunny skies with a low of 73 and a low of 49 degrees. That's all the weather I have for you today. Stay safe, and if you have family in Florida or southeastern Georgia, don't forget to check up on them this weekend. I'm Amelie Sengupta. Back to you.
Thanks, Amelie. Governor Brian Kemp has issued a state of emergency for counties in South Georgia still recovering from Hurricane Helene. Parts of Georgia and North Carolina continue to suffer its devastating impact. Andrew Brown got to hear the stories of those affected and is sharing it with GC360. Let's take a look.
This is a sight all too familiar for thousands of Americans across the country as Hurricane Helene ravaged through the lower eastern states. The storm made landfall on September 27th as a Category 4 hurricane with speeds up to 140 miles per hour. GCSU was met with minimal damages, but unfortunately surrounding Georgia counties and beyond were met with much more. Caroline Martin shares experiences from her hometown.
We didn't really think it was going to hit us like as hard as it did. So a lot of people, we know, like you get on social media and like see that people are going and buying all these stuff, so everybody goes to buy things like that. It's just a natural reaction because of like social media trends. So like a lot of people started buying things, and then that's when people started realizing that this may actually hit us. And then I'm pretty sure it like changed, it like turned a little bit, and then Dudley like was in the center of the eye like of the storm, so then everybody started to rush and get stuff and realize it was coming.
North Carolina saw the worst of Helene's winds and rains, with entire towns flooded and many left without a home. Evan Smith is a student at Appalachian State. He gave his insight on how students are adjusting to the damages.
So no one really knows when we're going back, how we're going back, if we're going back. I know like some of my friends, like they've had professors that have lost everything, and they're not going to have class the rest of the semester for those classes. They've been canceled. It's the grade you have at the beginning of this as what you have, and that's what credit you get. But I consider it my home now, and it's just absolutely devastating to see it like this. And I'd like to see a little bit more done in terms of getting the news spread, because it is a lot. There's a lot of people that have either lost their life or have literally just lost everything.
Since Helene landed, there have been $38 billion of damages and a death toll of over 200 people and rising. While relief efforts are ongoing, many families are still struggling with the aftermath of this natural disaster. Reporting for GC360, I'm Andrew Brown.
The lawfulness of Georgia's 6-week abortion ban was recently put into question. This kept Georgians on their toes, but not for longer than a week. Irma Ali has more on the story.
Georgia currently has a 6-week abortion ban under the Heartbeat Bill, but in late September of this year, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney struck down the Life Act as unconstitutional. The restored broad access to abortion did not last long. 1 week after McBurney blocked Georgia's 6-week abortion ban, the Supreme Court ruled earlier this week to reinstate the ban. McBurney's ruling would have allowed abortions through at least 20 weeks of pregnancy. Jessica Smith is a mother of 2, soon to be 3. She gave her thoughts on access to abortion after losing a child before the Heartbeat Bill went into effect.
I had a stillborn at 18 weeks, and my body didn't go through labor all the way, so I had to take medicine to allow myself to do that. And that pill is the miscarriage, the abortion pill that you have to take. If I took that now, I would be charged with murder. Like, that's how far they're going with trying to control female bodies, and that's not right. I found out after I was 6 weeks pregnant, so I couldn't even have a say-so in this kid's life if something was going to be wrong.
13 U.S. states are now enforcing bans on abortion at all stages of pregnancy, and 4 ban abortions around the 6th week of pregnancy, including Georgia. Hannah Webster, a Christian Baptist, believes life starts at conception. She shared her thoughts on what allowing abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy means to her.
It breaks my heart, it really does. I have videos of my son responding to my voice, responding to music, moving to the light that I put on my belly. He's alive. He's just not done growing yet. There's a lot of people who use it as security, as a form of birth control. I understand there are certain situations where it's, a doctor needs to warrant things and help in extreme situations. But there's plenty of other options to prevent not having children if you don't want children. It's a short window for you to get pregnant. So if you want to take religion out of it and talk about fate, so what are the odds that you did and you had this baby? Doesn't that sound like you were supposed to have that child? You were supposed to be that mother. There's no greater love that I've ever had than my child. I'm gonna cry.
Judge McBurney wrote that the right to privacy in the Georgia Constitution included the right to make healthcare decisions. Even though the 6-week abortion ban is still in effect, this has reopened the conversation on the topic of abortion in the swing state, Georgia. Reporting for GC360, I'm Irma Ali.
Coming up after the break, many students are registered to vote for the upcoming election, but how well do they know their government?
We'll take a look at students who race to honor the memory of a late GC student.
And a 3-year-long grant looks into the history of a famous alumni's early experiences. Do you know who it is? All of this and more on GC360, where news comes full circle.
I'm Eric Griffiths. I am the interim chair of the Department of Theater and Dance. Our general mission, of course, is teaching theater artists, actors, designers, technicians. Of course, students will specialize in certain areas, but they will know if an actor leaves here and that is their goal is to perform, they will also know how to hang a light. They will know how to sew a button on a costume. They have these other skills. So we offer kind of a mix of the soft skills and the hard skills for doing the work. Our goal is to create a well-rounded theater artist that knows a little bit about everything that goes into producing theater.
Welcome back. How much do voters know about our government? That was the question reporter Madeline Agostini and executive producer Ava Cortez asked themselves. Here's what they found out.
The presidential election is in a couple of weeks, and Bobcats, we wanted to test your knowledge. Come with me to see how many students could pass the U.S. citizenship test. Okay, can you name the 3 branches of government?
Judicial, legislative, and executive.
Legislative, judicial, and I can't name the third one.
It's executive. And do you know how old you have to be to run for president?
Like 40 something.
You have to be 35 years old.
Mm-hmm. Shh, we're in the library to test some more students. Do you know how many U.S. senators there are?
7.
18? Yeah. Oh, no, actually, 100. There's 100. 100. Mm-hmm. Do you know one of Georgia's?
John.
Yeah, that's right.
Raphael Warnock.
Mm-hmm. Are you voting in this election?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I am.
Yes. Yes. Thanks for talking with us, Bobcats. Don't forget that voting is a privilege and to use it wisely. I hope to see you all at the polls on November 5th. I'm Madeline Agostini reporting for GC360.
Last Saturday, the Exercise Science Club held a 5K run and walk. The event was in memory of Allison Everett, a former Exercise Science member. Reporter Teresa Owen made her way to the 5K to capture the action.
The annual Allison Everett 5K was held on Saturday, October 5th. This was a community event held in honor of Allison Everett. President of the Exercise Science Club, Addison Licati, explains.
Yeah, so it's put on by the Exercise Science Club every year. This is our 6th annual Allison Everett 5K. Allison Everett was a former alumna and faculty member here at Georgia College, and she passed away about 7 years ago in a car accident. We had been doing the 5K for a while. I say we, but it was people here that were before me. And then when she passed away, they decided to name the 5K after her. She was very passionate about running and being active and being healthy. Exercise is a way to better your lifestyle, and exercise as medicine. So this is just a way to honor her, her memory.
This year's Allison Everett 5K was the most successful yet. What draws people to these types of events? 5K participant and GCSU Exercise Science Club member Colin Sweeney talks about what he was looking forward to going into this event.
I just like being active, and I think it's great for a great cause too, for the charity fund, the scholarship for Allison Everett. So I'm really excited just to have some fun, get active, and raise some money.
In addition to the large influx of 5K participants, the Allison Everett 5K was also an opportunity for multiple organizations to come together, showcasing the true spirit of community, health, and fitness. Reporting for GC360, I'm Teresa Owen.
Flannery O'Connor is an important part of the Milledgeville community, and recently, a symposium was held in her memory, showcasing research done in her honor. Abby Hegelstein goes into details on the projects presented.
This past Wednesday, October 2nd, the Flannery O'Connor Institute for the Humanities hosted a second symposium for its oral history project. The project, entitled Collecting the Past, Flannery O'Connor and Milledgeville, is a 3-year grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities. With this project, students interviewed the local community members' experiences living in Milledgeville during the height of O'Connor's writing career. Senior history and philosophy major Julianne Makowitz spoke about the process of conducting the interviews.
The process includes setting up a date, time, and place. After that, we basically meet up in person or via virtually, so Zoom, phone call, that kind of thing. We spend about an hour asking questions, all of them being open-ended. We don't ask any closed kind of questions to make sure that it's truly we're not kind of like directing them to answer a certain way. And then after that hour is up, we then take the interviews and we transcribe them, and then they're posted in a digital archive.
At the event, each student presented their experience collecting interviews and the different ways people perceived Flannery O'Connor. The professor in charge of the grant, Stephanie Opperman, spoke about the importance of the project for the community.
There just isn't a lot available, and so I think being able to directly play a role in developing that story, not having it be a history that's been necessarily kind of passed down from state legislators or government officials year after year in a textbook, but instead having this opportunity to actually create the history based on family stories and life experiences is something that appeals to a lot of community members, and I think it helps to inspire our students to want to get involved as well.
The project strives to collect more local experiences with the focus of race, gender, class, and disability. There is a sense of urgency to collect these stories about Milledgeville and O'Connor, since there are not many people alive today from her time. Opperman explains the goal for the project once it has been complete.
So the goal of the project is to have a space where community members, Flannery O'Connor scholars, people interested in coming to Milledgeville at some point can all utilize the stories that have been collected on the Digital Library of Georgia. So that's where they'll eventually be housed. It's an open access option that is available to everyone. And that students will take what they've learned from this experience and look for more ways to introduce oral history into their studies, their research, their professional interests, and also just their lives.
Overall, the project has been successful so far, and the community has responded positively to the experience. Reporting for GC360, I'm Abby Helgeson.
Coming up on GC360, we'll get to hear all about some Bobcats that are kicking it in the world of sports with Hunter Ellis.
And a local business brings the community together to celebrate a well-earned milestone. Can you guess which one?
Speaking of business, we'll take you to a stroll on front campus to check out a biannual event that happened recently.
And let's take a peek at what's hot in the entertainment world. All of this and more when GC360 returns. See you after the break.
My name is Kathleen O'Neill, and I'm the costume shop supervisor and instructor for the theater department. So the costume department does a lot of different things. It helps teach our theater majors what costuming is for theater in general and for film. A lot of students come in to be theater majors not knowing that tech is going to have to be part of their major, and they don't know how to sew, they don't know how a costume shop works, and so that's my job to teach them. Most of the time they take the skills they learn in here and then they apply it to their life. And I hear all the time that they come in and they're like, Kathleen, I sewed a button on my pants because you taught me how to do it. And it just makes me feel good. But yes, they do take what they learn in here and apply it to their personal life.
Welcome back. Let's see what's kicking in the world of sports with anchor Hunter Ellis.
Thanks, Jackson. Starting off with Bobcat sports, the women's soccer team has been picking up steam with a hard-fought draw against Clayton State and beating the Christian Brothers University 4-1. Our Bobcats then played Lincoln Memorial in Tennessee, but they lost a close battle 2-1. Stat leaders this season are Ali Amrozowicz with 5 goals, and Morgan Amrozowicz with 5 assists, and Ella Hayes with 38 saves on 50 total shots. Great job, Bobcats, and good luck this Saturday in South Carolina. Moving on to college football. This past weekend was full of upsets. VO, Tennessee versus Arkansas. Some notable wins are Arkansas knocking off number 4 Tennessee, and an unranked Washington getting revenge on number 10 Michigan, and Vanderbilt making history against number 1 Alabama. This marks the first time Vanderbilt's beating a number 1 ranked team. Sticking with college football, this year the Heisman race is the closest one we've had since Mark Ingram in 2009. This year, the front-runner is none other than Ashton Jeanty, the junior out of Boise State, with more than 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns on the season on 95 carries. He is on pace for over 2,500 yards and 36 touchdowns. These could be CFB records and would solidify him as a Heisman winner. As the season goes on, only time will tell if any other competitors can catch up. The NBA season is here. The number 1 overall pick, Zachariah Riziker, Trae Young, and the Atlanta Hawks look for revenge after missing the playoffs. After trading star guard DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans, the Hawks turn to Trae Young to stay healthy throughout the season. Experts predict the Hawks to win 36 games and end up in the play-in game for the 4th straight season. Can a potential breakout year from former backup Jalen Johnson push the Hawks over the edge? Or will it be another lackluster year from a solid playoff caliber team? When the season kicks off, all these questions will be answered. This is all I have for sports this week. See you next week, Bobcats. Back to you.
Supporting a local business is supporting dreams. So with music and a big cake, a grand milestone was celebrated in downtown Milledgeville. J5 Takua has the story.
My Fair Sweet Tea celebrated the restaurant's 1-year anniversary with a public ceremony. Since the restaurant is open, they have established a growing community of individuals who not only enjoy the products, but also the people who serve them. Owner and entrepreneur of My Fair Sweet Tea, JT, wanted to give back to the community to show his appreciation and gratefulness.
We had quite a few key people who came out. The mayor came out, she spoke. I was elated, and just the fact that the mayor actually came out, took time out of her schedule to come and show support along with Floyd Griffin. Even a young lady by the name of, they call her Big Stu. She's a very prominent person throughout Milledgeville, Georgia. So a lot of people we heard, they seen quite a few businesses who came and left within the first year. We came here to be a staple, to do some great things for the community. And I'm already looking forward to our second year in.
JT's goal is to make My Fair Sweet Tea a warm and welcoming establishment. Locals and government officials came to support because of his dedication, which is what the people of Milledgeville are looking for.
I believe that it really shows that government here in Milledgeville supports local businesses and helps show that no matter what you do, what you sell, they're always going to back you and show up for you and help you interact with more customers, things like that.
My favorite sweet tea ceremony was a success. The contestants and games were enjoyed by both locals and officials. Many people are looking forward to the future of the restaurant and what its growth can mean for them and the community. Reporting for GC360, I'm Jay Fatikia.
Starting your own business can sound intimidating for many. This is why events like Georgia College's Farmers Market is an opportunity for students to showcase their business and sometimes create it. The biannual event took place on front campus and captured the attention of many who formed long lines to support friends and strangers. GC360 spoke with 2 students who shared their experience at the market, Eve Briscoe and Julia Jensen. Let's hear it.
I love the farmers market. I love coming out and being a part of our Georgia College farmers market and being a part of this wonderful community and meeting other students and peers. It's so amazing, and I love getting to broadcast my baked goods that I sell here. My favorite part of today, I love just meeting everybody and seeing all our friendly faces and just getting to interact with our campus. I absolutely love it. This is my 4th farmers market that I've done on campus, and I just love being able to make all of my stuff for the students, and I especially love to see it, like people using it on campus is my favorite part. I see a lot of students using them, so I just love it, and I love just being on campus, being able to be with the students.
Cultural resets, pivotal moments, and canon events are iconic in entertainment. Let's see if one of those has happened recently with Madeline Agostini. Madeline?
Thanks, Caroline. Only 8 stars remain after the 3rd week of Dancing with the Stars wrapped up. This includes Olympic athletes Steven Nedorosik and Ilona Maher, NBA and NFL champions Dwight Howard and Danny Amendola, as well as Georgia native Phaedra Parks. I can't wait to see how they shake it up next week. Moving on, Taylor Swift recently donated $5 million to the Hurricane Helene and Milton relief efforts. Feeding America's CEO shared on their social media that Swift's generous donations would help communities rebuild and recover. The artist is expected to return to the stage at the end of this month for her final bow of the Eras tour. In other news, Zendaya recently teased Euphoria's Season 3, revealing that we will be seeing a time jump in the upcoming season. Even though she didn't give details on what's to come, the actress said that she's excited to understand the characters outside of a high school setting. I guess we don't have to worry about dress codes anymore. Lastly, the Met Gala has announced the theme for next year's exhibition. Superfine, Tailoring Black Style will celebrate the Costume Institute's new exhibit. This will tell the Black dandy's story over time, reflecting issues of power and race in the Black diaspora. I don't know about you, but I'm very excited to see what this themes will bring. That's all I have for you this week. Back to you, Caroline and Jackson.
That's all for GC360 this week, Bobcats. Thank you for joining us today, and make sure you tune in next Thursday at 4 p.m. on NBC TV4 through the CableCast app. I'm Caroline Hubbard.
And I'm Jackson Schwartz. When we are not on the air, we keep you up to date on our social media. That's at GC360 News on Instagram and YouTube, and at bobcatmultimedia.com/GC360. Always available to you wherever news comes full circle. See you next week.
News anchor? Oh, what do you want? Like 10 seconds. Can you just read this announcement for me?
Okay, 10 seconds.
Okay. This semester, GC360 is introducing a new show, Cat Talk. We will showcase a new guest each month and deep dive into some topical issues of concern to you. You may also see some of our guests play some silly games while they're here with us. You won't want to miss this. From GC360, this is Isabella Vanderlende. So join me each month for Cat Talk right here on GC360.